Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick video about the all-new, all-different Amazing Spider-Man title, also known as Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4. Out of all the all-new, all-different titles, this is the only one I've read. I haven't read the Iron Man one yet. I haven't read the all-new Doctor Strange book yet. I do want to try that in particular, but, the big two right now that just came out were Spider-Man and Iron Man. And I haven't read Iron Man yet. Also, because money's been a little tight, I've only been able to afford my pull list, so I haven't really been able to really read the most recent Secret Wars crossover, which really leads into this all-new, all-different, status quo. But I'll read that when it comes out in trade. I must say I'm not even really all that enthusiastic about reading it. Like, it's not like I'm really anticipating it because I'm so sick of crossovers, but that's another video for another day. So, we only have right now all new, all different Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, issue 1. We're only on issue 1 right now, and when, I've been keeping up with the news as it's been coming out, long before the book came out. And I said I was going to wait until I read the first few issues to judge the book, but I do want to give like a first thoughts type thing now that I actually read issue 1, and maybe I'll do another video after we're up, maybe when the run's like over or near over or whatever, once the run really flushes out a bit. So, I don't know. Okay, so as I said, I haven't read the most recent Secret Wars, which really leads into this. Now, I don't know if they directly said, that they're trying to make Spider-Man like the new Iron Man in this new status quo, but they might as well have if they haven't. It's so incredibly apparent. Now, a lot of people say, you can make parallels here and there, even beyond parallels, man. I mean, it's blatantly obvious, and I haven't read the Iron Man book, but from what I understand, they're making him a little more, I don't know, it seems like they're trying to do a little bit of a switch on us, but I have my own theory, but I'll get to that in a minute. But as far as this Spider-Man book goes, here's the problem with changing Spider-Man fundamentally like this, which, the last time they did this was Superior Spider-Man, where it's a Spider-Man book, quote-unquote, but it's not really Spider-Man. Well, he acts like Spider-Man more than Superior did, at least, but, this Spider-Man's like a global hero now and stuff like that, and the problem with this, conceptually is, at least for me, personally, if you're okay with all this, that's cool. For me, the problem is, I would be completely behind this. I'd be completely okay with this if this was an alternate universe. And the thing is, we just got done with Spider-Verse. As a matter of fact, they're still riding that Spider-Verse train because I'm pretty sure there's a Spider-Verse ongoing happening. And there's going to be all these Spider titles. There's going to be the Spider-Man, the Miles title. There's going to be a Silk title, a Spider-Gwen title again. Spider-Man, Deadpool. Like, there's going to be all this stuff happening with Spider-Man. If they want to try stuff like this out, an experimental type thing, I would be fine with that. Just don't put it in the main Spider-Man book. When I subscribe to the main Spider-Man book, I personally want the traditional type stories, and it looks like I'm going to have to subscribe to the Miles title in order to get that. Well, I like Miles. I didn't like him at first, but he's grown on me. But I'll make another video on that another time. But, it's annoying. Like, I would be completely okay if during Spider-Verse, or even, you could explain why he wasn't in Spider-Verse, maybe he was busy, maybe he didn't care enough to get involved, something, I don't know, but just have it, this is another alternate universe where in this universe, Peter Parker is the Iron Man of the universe, and instead of taking up the mantle of Iron Man, he took up the mantle of Spider-Man, but he's still basically the Iron Man of the universe type thing, because it's very apparent that that's what they're going for now, and yet again, they might have mentioned that in Secret Wars, I don't know, they might as well have, but I don't want that from a mainstream Spider-Man book. I just want, traditional stories, and I feel like this is really indicative of Dan Slott's work. I don't think Dan Slott is necessarily a horrible writer. I just don't think he gets traditional Spider-Man. I don't think he understands traditional Spider-Man, and I'm not trying to undermine him. I know he says he's like a huge super fan or something. I don't know, but that doesn't mean he gets the character, and I don't think he understands traditional Spider-Man, because everything noteworthy about his run have been the most dramatic things, and not in a good way, but it's been Spider-Man being Doc Ock, it's been Spider-Man being Iron Man, stuff like that. And his Spider-Man run basically consists of Spider-Man not being Spider-Man, and that's not what I want from a Spider-Man book. Dan Slott should have been assigned to like a secondary or tertiary book, and he could explore all of that kind of he could explore those conceptual ideas elsewhere. I don't think the main universe is where you explore alternate versions of Spider-Man, or at least alternate takes on Spider-Man. Now, I will give the book a chance. Like, Spider-Man is, as I've said before, he's like my character, and he might be your character too. He's the character that you'll get. You could excuse some bad stories. You just want to follow him. You want to follow him. You want to follow this as it kind of unfolds and stuff like that. So I will be following this title just to see how it goes, because I don't think, while this is a dumb idea in my opinion, I don't think it's nearly as much a slap in the face as Superior Spider-Man was, but that doesn't mean that doesn't make this necessarily good. But we'll see. I'll give it a chance. I laugh. I find the parallels to Iron Man so apparent. I mean, you have the whole thing where Hobie Brown is running around pretending he's Spider-Man to throw off the public, which kind of reminds me of when Rhodey was flying around as Iron Man, depending on the situation. You have the whole thing where just beyond the tech, he's a global hero. It's even suggested at one point when he's talking to Nick Fury how he's supplying S.H.I.E.L.D. with certain tech, and he's like yelling at him about it. There's so much. It's ridiculous to me. This isn't what I want from a Spider-Man book. I don't think. Well, here's the problem with Spider-Man. Spider-Man is such a popular character that in the grand scheme of Marvel, how we see it, on the page, Spider-Man is kind of the center focus. He is to us, because he's such a prominent character. He's such a loud character. But in the universe, I don't think he should be that big of a figure. Like, obviously he's known, he should be known, but I don't think he should be, like, the guy in the universe, like that main guy. He should be a street-level character, dealing with everyday problems. I don't think he should be a global hero. So, yet again, I'll give this book a chance. I'm just saying, the point of this was, this would be a brilliant idea if it was, or it wouldn't even brilliant, it'd be a better idea if it was just a different universe Spider-Man, but you're putting it in the main title, and I don't want it there, because you're giving me no choice but to have to read it. If I want to read Spider-Man, well, I'm pretty much reading Iron Man, and I'm pretty sure the reason they're doing this is because I've had this suspicion that they're trying to make Iron Man like the center focus of the Marvel comic universe, because Iron Man is pretty much the center focus of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is kind of their way of having their cake and eating it too. Spider-Man's a really popular character, he sells, so now they could make Iron Man comics and angle those so he's the center focus of the universe, and they could make Spider-Man like Iron Man, so you're pretty much getting two Iron Mans, and one of them is also Spider-Man, so it's just, we need to get past this now. And I think the only way that happens is if Slott gets off the book. Well, I don't think Slott's the only contributor to things like this happening. I just think he's kind of a problem. But I will address that another time. So, what are your thoughts on this? Not just this title. I mean, you can tell me your thoughts on this title, but what's your thoughts on this all new, all different status quo? Are you for it? Are you against it? Are you indifferent? Will you wait till it pans out? Let me know, and I'll catch you guys.